Great moments are born from great opportunity.
Or he can throw it if indeed he throws it, or they try a lateral or whatever here. Meanwhile, he just tries to get away from everybody, throws it into the end zone, into a lot of traffic, and there's a pick on the other side. And coming back from the end zone is Holland, and Holland is out to midfield, and Holland is inside the 40, and Holland is inside the 20. Can you believe this? That is insanity.
I love that you put that together. Great job. I don't know why I'm the Dolphin. Why would I be happy that happened?
Well, you had a sourpuss on your face, so I don't know. I just needed somebody to throw in, and McDaniel's goofy face didn't work. So poor Jets, man. I mean, they can't catch a break on the Thanksgiving holiday. The infamous butt fumble, which has become almost a cornerstone of this unfantasy league. And, you know, some of the design elements and gaffes that we have with it, it might have some competition after that one.
I guess, man. I mean, I can't say one word because the Patriots are 2 games worse in the standings than the Jets are at this point. So the joke's on who? I don't know at this point. But yeah, that was nuts. To the point where I forgot about that play. I watched that play live and forgot about that play.
I couldn't believe it. I saw it live too, man. I was like, I even commented on it in our Telegram chat. Like, only the Jets can throw a Hail Mary pick six. It's just it's the only touchdown that I think they've had in the past three or 4 weeks. Offensively, defensively, they scored on a pick six, but yeah, it's pretty nuts, man. Pretty nuts. So Dolphins curb stomped them. Thanksgiving went well, man. No fights over how good the Patriots are.
No, I'm in a weird place right now. I'm very desensitized with everything, to the point where I maybe I shouldn't give this information, but we watched the Super Bowl together with the last time the Giants played the Patriots, whatever the frig year that was, 2011 or something. And I left breaking the rear view mirror in my car at halftime. So that says about yesterday or whenever it was, 2 days ago, they missed the field goal. I didn't make one peep. I kind of made a little chuckle because in the draft, I don't want to look back and be like, oh, if he just missed that field goal, we would have had a great pick. It really doesn't matter whatsoever to me. So I'm in a very weird spot that Jad could probably help me out with, because I've never been where he's been.
You took the thoughts out of my head, man. I was going to say Jad popped in here. I'm sure he can shed some light on what it's like to look forward to the draft halfway through the season. But nonetheless, man, we are past the Thanksgiving break, and this is really where the playoffs start to unfold. Some important games that occurred over the weekend. I think one of the more important ones was the Houston and Jacksonville game. That came down to the wire. That was a 58-yard field goal that hit the crossbar that would have tied it. And it cost me my pick for the week. So I was kind of pissed about that. But Jacksonville's running the table in the AFC South. But Houston kind of showed that they could flex with them as well. I don't know where that all ends up, but it's going to be an interesting home stretch down there.
Can I, before we get off that stuff, because it's too funny, we've kind of the last couple times, I feel like I need to beat myself up a little bit here, even more so. So this chat GPT bot that we made, the UNFan bot, I told it what happened in the game, and let's see if I can regenerate it to re-say it. So just going to ask it, can you repeat exactly what you just said so everybody can hear? Let's see if it works. It's too good not to.
All right, everyone, gather around for a tale of woe and missed field goals. The Patriots losing to the Giants is like a gourmet chef burning toast. It's not just a loss, it's a culinary catastrophe. Imagine this. The Patriots all geared up for victory, only to trip at the finish line. It's like watching a graceful swan dive turn into a belly flop. And hey, Pete, remember, rooting for the Patriots is like being on a wild ride where the highs are sky high and the lows, well, they're missing a field goal against the Giants. But keep your chin up. The beauty of sports is there's always another game, another chance for redemption, or another field goal to miss. Who knows? Stay tuned.
So I don't know, like, call me Pete, and did not respond to the first one, but listen to some of the highlights of the first response. It said, "Oh man, the Patriots losing to the Giants by a field goal. That's like losing to a spelling bee to a rock. Seriously, John, the Patriots missing the field goal is like trying to find a needle in a haystack, only to realize the needle's been in your pocket the whole time. They had one job. It's like they've taken the term New England clam chowder to a whole new level, thick, lumpy, and leaving a bad taste in your mouth. And John, buddy, remember, being a Patriots fan is riding a roller coaster. Only roller coasters made out of missed field goals and dashed hopes. Cheer up, though. There's always next game or next decade. Who knows? Keep up the faith." So we've created a little bit of a monster of this, but I thought it was pretty good. It made me laugh about the Patriots. I mean, I think that's the only thing that's keeping me upright at this stage.
Well, I mean, if you don't own it, then you get, depressed, I guess. But look, you always have your AI therapist to help you out in situations like this. But I guess, look, the missed field goal might have helped you in a number of ways. First of all, it made you select your pick correctly because you thought the Patriots were going to lose. So I'm sure somewhere deep down in the abyss, there was a glimmer of happiness there. But it also sort of almost prolonged the inevitable if they did make it, because that would have tied the game. And, who knows what overtime would like. Would you have been more satisfied with a tie? I mean, it almost ripped the Band-Aid right off of you for that.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of different things. I was glad that the game was not going into overtime, because who needs to see any more of that? Ironically, it was a good defensive game. I enjoyed watching part of it. But this, I think my downfall, and I have done some therapy here, my downfall started when we created this freaking league. And this started to flesh out this concept again, because it's hurt me in more ways than one. The Patriots are tanking. It's awful. I'm picking against them. Never thought I would do that. And when I heard you were doing the opening today for the show, I thought it was going to be the video that I had sent you, because our boys have teams, our kids have teams, your daughter's a team and does real well. Axel, my youngest dude, who's 4 years old, he's been just picking the logos that he likes, right? So he's very lucky because he's just had the Jets and he's got all the Jets, right? So it's the jokes. So he's always picking right them. So we're playing a mock game and he's the Jets. He's now the Jets. He does not like the Patriots. He's a freaking Jets fan. So this whole thing I really regret doing any of this stuff after what happened this weekend.
Well, we'll make some jokes jerseys and jokes hats, and he could be the best Jets fan in history. But secretly he'll be rooting against them and he'll never know.
Yep. I'll see if I can get that video up before we jet, because it is ooh, I didn't even mean to do that. But yeah, man. Moving on now, I guess it's time. I just had to have that moment. Thank you for allowing it for me, everybody here. And
my
we'll
pleasure.
Back in.
My pleasure. Giants beat the Patriots yet again. I mean, it's getting a tale as old as time here. Anyway, game of the week, hands down, was that Philly Buffalo game. I don't know if you caught any of that, man, in the monsoon, but yeah, it was a great game, man. Great football. And, Buffalo once again figures out ways to lose a pivotal game in overtime.
Yep. They're like the Celtics of the NFL.
I guess so, man. I mean, this is becoming almost an expectation once they figure out a way to get the game into overtime. Denver wins a good game against Cleveland. Jad, I had Cleveland in this one, man, but Denver is a stealth bomber at this point, man. They are on a 5-game winning streak. They are looking like a real playoff team. They're looking like the Russell Wilson teams of old. Defensively, they're playing great. I don't know what they're going to, plan on doing with the running game. I think they have some injuries there now. But dude, they can run the tables, at least in the wild card position, which would be a pretty impressive feat considering the start of the season that they had.
Yeah, man. I didn't listen to a word you were saying because I was trying to text that video to it, but I never really do anyway. I'm just kind of I'm just here. This is you know what? Let's do this proper here. Let's do this. There we go. Here we are. It's your show.
There we go. Well, we'll have to rewind and hear all the shit talking that I said about you.
Yes.
Lions blow it on Thanksgiving to the Packers, man. Didn't expect that one. I don't think anybody really expected that one. The way the Lions have been playing and the way that Green Bay season has sort of unfolded. But Green Bay is another team that has shown some pretty decent improvement over the last few weeks. Still no shot in hell with playoffs or anything further. But, Detroit needs these wins to, at least be in the hunt for some home field advantage throughout the playoffs if they don't run into Philly in the first, in the second or third round.
Yeah. And I think I feel like I had said to you that I'm not sold on Detroit. I'm really bitter, and I'm like one of those dudes that just talk shit about people when they're down and feeling grumpy, and it just makes negativity spread around. So I'm gonna that's my New Year's resolution, to try to stop that and embrace that. But the Detroit Lions is one of the teams I was saying, like the Dolphins, that I'm not sold on. For the record.
Well, for the holidays, I'll get you a rocking chair so you can be grumpy in the right way.
Yep, I'm getting there.
Cowboys continue to flex, and frankly, all these Dallas fans are still popping their heads out of the woods, thinking that they're the best team in the world. You beat up on the Commanders. I guess you could say what you want, but doesn't really prove much. And the Niners are really running things out west. I think that team is back. They're a little bit more healthy than they were when they went on that 3-game losing streak. It's going to be an interesting home stretch, man. We got about 6 games left.
Is it?
What?
Is it? I don't know. Yes, I guess. The Patriots, I'm still in that little mode, but yes, sure. Sorry.
Well, the Patriots are going to be, pretty much guaranteed wins for other teams for the rest of the season. So I guess you could be grateful about that.
Yep.
Unfantasy wise,
let's get into it.
Quite a few different stories to discuss here. You, my friend, are in pretty decent threat of losing your top spot in your division, which would, I guess, sort of piggyback off of the Patriots' success throughout the season as a team falls apart. But, nonetheless, you are sitting number 1 still. We have 1 week remaining in the unfantasy regular season, and then playoffs will begin. The playoff brackets are updated. I can share my screen here, and we can have some fun with that. All right. So the overall standings, let's take a peek at the AFC West. You are about 13 points back now or ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's a defensive playing card. So I think this is an important week. Also a critical week of buys. So teams need to set their lineups the right way, or else they're going to dip in the standings a little bit further.
Buy this week.
We have 6 teams on a bye. We have Baltimore, we have Buffalo, we have Chicago, Minnesota, the Giants, and the Raiders. So quite a big selection, and quite a big selection of unfantasy cards and teams that most people play. So that's really going to be the determining factor on what happens within the standings of the playoffs, which start again. They start next week. First place in the division will get that week 1 bye. All of the other, the second place in each division will be guaranteed that playoff spot. And then it goes down the ranks accordingly from there, based around how you finish off the season. As it looks right now, I probably am involved in the toughest wild card game, where I would square off against Hulk Bagdog and Tua B or not Tua B, 2 very dangerous teams. I could be out of the playoff picture before I blink. So I got a lot of decisions I got to make as well. I don't think there's a chance I'm going to catch Dive Eagles Dive, man. This guy he's really just run away with it. Jack's team blowing it last night really screwed me over because I picked the Bears to lose. And obviously the only people that Dobbs threw the ball to were Bears. So it's going to be an interesting play. There's still some players that are in the participation bracket that can move up into the loser bowl bracket, the championship bracket. So things are definitely not solidified quite yet.
There's a couple teams on the bubble here.
There's still a lot of teams on the bubble, and a lot of movement could happen between now and this time next week. So it's going to be fun. We have two teams that have eclipsed the 1,000-point threshold for the season, which is very impressive.
Yes.
Team Goal Stoppers, which is always a force. And then obviously Dive Eagles Dive, who, rookie owner, OG franchise, definitely doing some damage in the overall standings. Let's see. The OG League. What's going on there? I think you're actually leading that league.
I am indeed.
So once again, those playoffs will start next week as well. So there's still many, many, many different pieces of this puzzle that still need to get ironed out. But overall, I think it's a dog race, man. I mean, you look at the top 5 teams; they're within 40 points of each other.
Mm-hmm.
So the standings are going to be pretty important in this OG playoff push and the overall OG league as well.
Did you say the Commanders are on a bye this week?
No.
Okay, good.
They're on a bye next week. Actually, next week there's 2 teams on a bye. You have Arizona and the Commanders. So that's going to make the wild card weekend even more wild, I suppose. For the second week in a row, if you look back at week 11, the Jets have the best unfantasy score. Obviously, that has to do with all of their lack of offense and the fact that they keep losing. So, those teams are going to get thrown a pack of cards as well. But yeah, overall standings, we still have the Commanders number 1. Arizona has snuck into that number 2 spot. And then you have the plethora of garbage teams thereafter: New England, Carolina, New York, Chicago, and Vegas. And that's really it, man. So huge week of unfantasy games unfolding this week as the playoff picture continues to get solidified. Pay attention to those buys. Everything kickstarts on Thursday, ends on Monday night. So we're back to sort of a regular schedule this week. And again, keep an eye on those buy teams because those are gonna be an important factor here.
Yep. And then, so just to refresh everybody too here. So even when the playoffs start, when the season ends, whatever the score, the overall score, the top 3 are going to win a prize here, right? They're going to win some cash. So keep playing. There's still, I don't know if anybody can catch Dive Eagles Dive or Goal Stoppers, but if they sleep on it, there's still plenty of time to jump up on that, because you're going to want to win the overall. You're going to want to win the all-time, which I don't think we talked about, and obviously the playoffs. All-time status is, again, from if you had a team last year and this year, it gets combined. Don't worry either, because if you have a team this year and not last year, that this score will roll over into the all-time stats for next year. So who is the all-time
leader is Goal Stoppers. This actually reversed itself from the overall standings from this year. So Dive Eagles Dive was an acquired franchise. So last year's statistics counted in the all-time scoring metric here. But Goal Stoppers, with 2 really solid back-to-back seasons, they're really running the tables in the all-time statistics. I round out the 3rd spot on the podium, and then got a couple other acquired franchises in 4th and 5th. So it's fun to watch this, because I guess over time, as everything continues to evolve, the more cards you accumulate, these are going to have pretty decent size impacts as far as your all-time, as well as your power rankings. So if you go into your front office page, all of these are really calculated based around the different cards that you've accumulated, whether they're rare, epic, that kind of stuff. So you want to keep an eye on how your power ranking looks. I think in this case, I'm at a 7 power ranking. I think you're a little bit ahead of me. You get to see which epic fail cards you have, any trophies you have. All of this is going to get updated at the end of the season, and you'll be able to see where you sit heading into the 2024 year.
Yep. And then again, it's not just have the cards that you have, but it's also the achievements here. So every trophy that you do win, whatever they are, those also count towards your power ranking, which factors in as well. So I am definitely excited to see this shape out. We're literally in year 2, so I'm excited to see where it goes from there. But here we are.
Yeah,
Admin Jack, here he is. This is why he pulled over to give us crap. He's the winner.
He did win, and I was going to put this in the overall notes, but He was 1 inch of an interception thrown by Chargers in losing this, and I don't think he realized it. I ended up having the Chargers offense.
He was passed out high as shit when that happened at that point.
I guess so. High on turkey and all sorts of other stuff, I suppose. But yeah, man, that one interception would have thrown me over the top. And I had notes written down on all of the shit talk that I was going to have thrown at him if that were to happen, because not only would I have beaten one team, but I beat two. But nonetheless, I eat those words. He did win. He wins for the second time this season. So congrats to him. And yeah, I mean, overall, what was his team? He had Carolina, he had Washington, the Giants, Seattle with the penalties against San Francisco, and then, you know, Vegas coming up short against the Chiefs. I thought the Raiders played a good first quarter, but you got to play 4. And he told me a long time ago he learned a lesson not to ever bet against Mahomes. So I think that's why he made that pick.
Yep, it worked out. This is a little disappointing for me, man, because again, it's probably just because we didn't do a good job messaging it out, but this was half off last week. I feel like we should just run that back again. So instead of usually it's $10, you get up to 3 entries, but $10 per entry, and the winner takes home $100. So I just sent Dive Eagles Dive, $100 from last week. I got to send, I'm happy to do it. Got to send Jack some weed money for winning this week. But this is something I feel like we are underutilizing because it is a great way to get some cash back in your pocket. And we're not going to do it throughout all of the playoffs. So, but I feel like this last week, again, we should just keep it at 5 if you're cool with that. No need to put you on the spot.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I want to see a huge pool here and bring it down to the Monday Night Football tiebreaker if possible. Yep. We had that happen once.
Chance to win $5 chance to win 100. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that was last year. So Jack is actually very good and very knowledgeable, but he probably had a cupcake week with the lack of entries.
Well, yeah. He threw in 3 picks. I threw in 3 picks. It was me versus him. And as you can see, I finished in the basement. So I didn't actually have a good week of picks at all. Let's get into that one. So the picks themselves, you and I make our picks and everybody throws them in the chat. Then we do this AI pick. Now, I took some risks this week thinking it was Thanksgiving, and with the weird schedule, like good teams wouldn't play good and, mediocre teams would be able to win it out. I ate that as fast as I guess I ate my turkey and mashed potatoes. I ended up 7-9 this week, which is pretty pathetic. You were 8-8, and AI kicked our ass all over the place with a 10-6 record.
Yep.
So
this segment for Jack, Jack's gonna be our producer one day here, man. He's gonna set these up for segment. This segment is basically showing that AI is gonna take our jobs, but every week we make our picks. I'm literally just throwing at a dartboard through a verbal style here, but still was able to take you out. But AI, we can't fool her.
Well, Terminator, I mean, you've genderized AI already, huh? So
but that's the gender that came out with the commish here. So
got it. I thought it was like a ship or something that you have to christen as a woman. I don't know.
That work, whatever works.
So Terminator has begun, and the takeover of, I guess, this show too, because we're talking out of our ass. They're more accurate than we are, or I should say she is.
The technology is right around the corner, and I can't wait until we just
plug
in our stuff. AI face comes in and then does the show. It'd be better looking, funnier, cooler, more clear, and to the point.
Yep. All right, man. You ready for some picks? You got them loaded into AI. You want to run them at the same time as us?
Let's start it. I'm going to roll it in and into the end.
Perfect.
And we'll go from there.
Thursday night, Seahawks go into Dallas. Seahawks coming off that loss at home against San Francisco. Big division loss that they suffered. Dallas just, steamrolling pretty much everybody, the Giants and the Commanders in that division. Tough time against the Eagles, but I still feel they're going to split. They won a big division game against the Commanders on Thanksgiving in decisive fashion. I got the Cowboys taking this down, man. I think Seattle is they're in a dark spot right now, and they're facing the Cowboys at the wrong time.
Yeah, I think Seattle is going to lose as well.
Jumping into Sunday at the 1:00 games, we have Arizona heading into Pittsburgh. Arizona, another tough division loss. Both NFC West teams, both the Seahawks and the Cards lost division games. But the Cards still have Kyler Murray. I like the way Pittsburgh played this past week against Cincinnati, a broken down Cincinnati. Pittsburgh's defense is pretty strong, man. I got Arizona flying into Pittsburgh and losing this game.
Yeah, and I am definitely eating my words as my negativity as I'm rolling down here, because I've said last week that the Steelers were going to be under 500. What are they, 7-4 now? 6-4, something like that.
Yeah, one more win, and Tomlin, I guess, solidifies his streak for another season, which is pretty impressive. I still feel that's one of the more impressive stats in the league to date. That and the fact that Cleveland has never won a Super Bowl. Shout out Jad. Atlanta goes into the Meadowlands and squares off against the team that is the topic of discussion today with the Hail Mary. They face the Jets. Look, man, it's really hard to give credit to a defense like the Jets if they can't put the ball in the end zone and try to pick them to win. I got the Jets losing this at home. I really liked what I saw out of Atlanta playing against the Saints this past week. Granted, they were at home, and Ritter is obviously a better quarterback at home. But I can't. There's nothing positive happening with the Jets to even give them a slimmer chance of having a victory here.
Yeah, I don't see that either. Bijan's looking pretty good.
Yeah, he came alive again. I think he caught and ran one in this past week. It was like, I think it was like the first time that a running back did that since, like, I don't know, Cordell Patterson did it when he was like the starting running back a few years back or something.
He did with the Patriots.
Yeah. The Broncos head into Houston. This is a sneaky game of the week, I think. Denver on a 5-game winning streak. Houston coming off a tough division loss against Jacksonville. Again, CJ is playing really well. He put the team in a spot to win or at least tie the game. Made a few mistakes, and Jacksonville made him pay for it. But overall, his gameplay is very impressive. I think Denver's on a pretty decent hot streak right now, and defensively, they're just shutting people down. I got Denver taking this, man. I got Houston losing this game at home.
That's rough. This is where we'll veer off, and I'm going to say Denver is going to lose this game.
Jumping on the CJ wagon, are we?
You've been on the CJ wagon all day long.
I know, and he disappointed me last week, so that's why
we also keep track of Jack's picks.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So the Lions head into the New Orleans in the Superdome and square off against the Saints. Saints, tough loss against the division in Atlanta. And I mean, dude, the NFC South is it's once again the division of nobody wants to win to get into the playoffs. I think this is a bounce back week for the Lions. I think the Saints have a good D, but they're not gonna do anything to match that. I got the Saints losing at home.
That's a tough one. I'm going to go with the Saints to lose as well, but I'm not confident with it.
That sounds very unconfident.
Yes.
Indianapolis.
I'm not confident with it for you to get the gist.
Indianapolis goes into Tennessee. Tennessee played a decent, home game. They ended up winning. I thought Carolina was going to pull that out. Again, I ate that pick. Colts played a really good game against Tampa at home. Division game here. Colts are the better team. Tennessee has only played well at home, which is my only hesitation with making this pick. But I got the Colts taking it down.
Yeah, I mean, Vrabel's on the hot seat. There's chatter if he's going to be the next coach of the Patriots. I'm going to stop talking about the Patriots. It's like I just got to stop. But I'm going to pick Tennessee to lose. And the UNFan commish picks the Colts to lose in this game.
Interesting. Well, you're not going to get off the Patriots that easy because the next pick is the Chargers versus the Patriots. Dude, you remember like back in the day when this was like a game you circled on your calendar because you were excited to see if Phillip Rivers could ever do something against Brady, and the Tomlinson era and all these teams that they would win the back half of the year and then kind of sneak their way into the playoffs. How times have changed. LA is actually on a spiral in the wrong direction. They're talking about potentially firing the coach. I don't know where all that plays out. This is definitely a rebound week for the entire team. I don't know what the weather is going to be like in New England. But man, it's really going to be tough for me to pick against a team like LA and their defense if New England can't do anything. If they start Mac Jones again, like, is that decided yet or not?
I don't think it's decided, but there's no way they can do that. There's no way. I can't
imagine that they do that. Just the decisions that this guy was making. Like, I was shocked he was on the field for at least a half.
Yeah. And Zappe looked okay. I mean, he still made a stupid mistake, but it just looks. He's an awful quarterback, and it just made them look so much better when he was on the field, which is crazy. I'll tell you what the weather's going to be. It's going to be gloomy with a side of boredom in that game. I'm going to pick the Patriots to lose. The AI, she's picking the Chargers to lose this game.
Interesting. I got the Patriots losing as well. Miami goes into Washington, squares off against the Commanders. Obviously, the Dolphins beat the hell out of the Jets on Black Friday football. Commanders lost on Thanksgiving to the Cowboys. I mean, Miami's playing well, man. They're getting healthy. They got some pieces of their puzzle back together. Again, who knows what could happen with weather and things like that whenever Miami goes into a cold weather environment. But I don't think that Washington is a team that can slow them down. I got the Commanders losing at home.
Yes, and then this might be, I mean, we know we're either living in a simulation or AI is coming for us because the AI is picking the Dolphins to lose this game. So maybe our jobs are safe, maybe they're not. I'm going to pick the Commanders to lose this game.
This could easily be, let's see who the Dolphins have in week 14, because this could be a game where they kind of like peak over. Game. Yeah, and they kind of, I think they got Buffalo. No, they don't. They have the Titans at home. So I don't know. I still feel that that AI is wrong on this one, but if not, I will bow down and swear allegiance. Carolina goes into Tampa. Believe it or not, this is really one of the bigger rivals in the NFC South. They kind of made it so, but nonetheless, Tampa's coming off a tough loss in Indianapolis. Carolina, which I feel should have won that game in Tennessee. They just couldn't get anything moving. I always found them in a third down scenario. Carolina is just a bad team this year, and for a Bears fan, you're rooting for them to continue to lose. I think that streak continues after this week. I got the Panthers losing down in Florida.
Definitely, the Panthers are going to lose this stuff. I realized what I did this one. I didn't do it right, so I may have to give AI a redo because I didn't input some of the stats, updated stats, because it has the Buccaneers losing for this one. But let's call it as it is.
Interesting, man. I mean, a division game, you never know, right? Like anything could really happen with that. Cleveland goes into LA to square off against the Rams. Not quite sure what I'm going to make of this game. Cleveland's offense was invisible, but then again, Denver's defense has really been playing well. LA came off as a team that I just can't predict week after week. For whatever reason, I think they're still in the playoff hunt, but I don't see them making the playoffs. I see them being on the bubble in a weak NFC conference. Defensively, I think Cleveland's obviously the better team, and I think they're going to shut down LA's offense. I got Cleveland going into LA and walking out of there with a W.
Okay. I'm going to go. Me and AI are going together on this one.
Holding hands.
Actually, I'm going with
swinging on the beach.
What?
Holding hands, singing on the beach.
Yeah. Okay. If it helps me with my lineups, I'm okay with it. So actually, I'm wrong. I'm picking the Browns to lose. She's picking the Rams to lose, just like you. There you go.
Well, I stole your girl. Here we go with the game of the week. Surprised they didn't move this to Sunday Night Football, but you got the Niners going into Philly. This is back-to-back tough games for Philly, and they can really stamp not only the top spot in the NFC with this type of win, but really the top spot in the league in only week 13 here. Philly looks great, dude. There's nothing more you can say about them defensively. They're playing really well. Hurts is moving the ball in times when he has to. He's avoiding sacks when he has to. The running game with Swift has really picked up. The Niners, again, they're looking good too. I like this. I got this one circled on my calendar to watch the full game. This is going to be a good one. I got the Niners pulling it out though, just because I can't see Philly walking through this season with only one loss.
Yeah, agree. I mean, there was a close game week 1 against the Patriots. It tells you that stuff. I was chuckling a little bit because when you said I stole your girl, it just was delayed reaction, but a flashback that I could say some good little comeback, but we're not going to at this point. Philly AI's got Philly, your girl, my girl, anybody's girl, got Philly to lose this game. I got the Niners losing this game, but I am not. I think the Niners are a better team than the Philly, but I'm picking the Niners to lose. Interesting. You're going to say yes.
You think the Niners are a better team?
I think the Niners are a better team than Philly, yes.
I want to pull a clip back from week 1 or week 2 of the season. Chiefs go into Green Bay. This is another one that used to be circled on the calendar as one that you were eager to watch. But I mean, the Chiefs coming off a curb stomping in Vegas. They completely outplayed the Raiders 3 out of 4 quarters and walked out of there with a pretty decisive division win. Packers shocked the world against Detroit in Detroit on Thanksgiving. Their food tasted a little better, but I think that they go back to cheese and beer farts after this week. I got Packers losing at home on Sunday night.
Yes. I have the Packers losing as well. I don't think anybody was too shocked that the Lions lost. I will say there's a great documentary on Amazon Prime, Bye Bye Barry, which is pretty good. So it relives the old days. Right around when I started watching football, the Lions were starting up there, and Wayne Fontes, which I was crazy to think he was still alive, but he's in the documentary, and Wayne Fontes is alive, and it's a good. I highly recommend it.
I think I have like a football card from him that came in a cereal box. That name sounds familiar. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Monday Night Football, Cincinnati goes into Jacksonville. Cincinnati's hurting. They clearly couldn't do anything against Pittsburgh. Jacksonville has been a better team, and I think Jacksonville they're in the hunt for the top spot in the AFC. I know that's weird to say, but based around the teams remaining on their schedule and who's in their division, I don't see how it's not possible for them to, keep winning here and put the pressure on teams like Kansas City or, Buffalo's 6-6 after this loss. So I think they're out of that picture as of now.
Jets was 8-3.
Yeah, they're an 8-3 team, and they're right up there, man. I think Kansas City's 8-3 as well, aren't they?
You got 9-3 the Ravens. You got 8-3 Kansas City. You got 8-3 Jacksonville. You got 8-3 Miami. Then 7-4 Pittsburgh, 7-4 Cleveland. 7-4 is pretty tough to be at the 6th seed here, and then 6-5 Indianapolis, and just on the bubble here, as well as Houston at 6-5 and Denver at 6-5, and Buffalo's in 10th place at 6-6. It's freaking crazy.
It's nuts, man. It shows the power that the AFC has over the NFC. If you flip over to the NFC, dude, you'll see like teams like Seattle, who are like in 6th place or 5th place.
The 4th seed is the Falcons at 5-6.
Well, that's the division leader. So, still, yeah, it's embarrassing. The NFC is they're not competitive at all, over the last few years, let alone this year, except for teams like Philly and San Francisco, which sort of stands out against the grain here. Nonetheless, on Monday night, I got Cincinnati losing this game. I think that Jacksonville, keeps their strong season alive. Again, and the announcers are starting to make these comments during the game, so maybe they're watching this podcast. But Evan Ingram has to find the damn end zone. He has to find the end zone. Mm-hmm. He's been having a great year, 50-60 yards a game. He's just allergic to the paint. So I'd like to see him get into the end zone over this home stretch here and really just start gearing up for some bigger plays that could be made in the playoffs.
Yep. I'm with you there.
So once again, the team's on a bye. We have Baltimore, we have Buffalo, we have Chicago, we have Minnesota, Vegas, and the Giants. So big week of buys. There's one more week of buys after this. Arizona and Washington are on the break next week, and then it's everybody's playing for the rest of the season. So big implications as far as the unfantasy playoffs are concerned. Make sure you set those lineups. Make sure you pull out any of those teams that are on a bye. We have the 50% discount on the pick six submissions once again for this week. So hopefully there's a little bit more competition for Jack. Jack, I'm going to tally up your picks here, and I'll make you the same deal that we made when you were on the show. If your picks are better than my picks, you get to select any one of my cards. However, it's only playable next season because this season the trade deadline has already passed.
This is not a pick measuring contest, buddy. So I'll leave you and Jack to do that elsewhere. But I like that. I like that you're throwing that in there. I don't know if I necessarily like that you're waiting until next season. Seems like you're a little scared holding on to what you got there, but I get it.
Look, I need all the help I can get, especially that first week. So, he can take my card during the off season if he wants, but, trying to add a little bit of juice to these picks and, a little action here. But, just throwing this out there, Jack, I'm the only one making these types of offers. So you're very confident in your picks. I think that if I beat you, maybe I should have free reign at one of your cards or something. I don't know. I'm going to let you propose that type of offer. But, we'll see.
He's the only guy putting his money where his mouth is. The dude's taking, he put up $15 and won 100 last week. So, can't do that.
Yep. All right. Well, week 12 in the books. We're past the Thanksgiving holiday, man. Any final words as we head into the home stretch here?
No, man, I don't have any final words. I'm literally at the watch now of hoping the Patriots lose. And it's weird to watch a Buffalo game and really not care if they lose or win. Like, that's really crazy to me to have to go through that. My first year watching the Patriots, they were 2-14, 1992. First game actually was against the 49ers. I actually got to see live. And it's taking me back. What's that?
Who was the quarterback?
Steve Young. Joe Montana was hurt.
Wow.
So they had Ricky Waters, they had Ronnie Lott, they had Jerry Rice, of course, and we had Hugh Millen, right? Which I wish we had Hugh Millen last week and this week coming up, because he's better off than what we got. And I mean, bring him out now, not wait back then. We just roll him out right now. If he's still upright like Wayne Fontes, bring Wayne Fontes out to be the QB of the Patriots at this point. That's my thought. Hopefully they lose, they get a good pick. But even if they get a pick, I said to you and Jack, they're going to friggin' trade down, to the second round to pick a guard from Rutgers and blow everything up anyway. So it is what it is. This is what keeps us going, living in our own little worlds.
That's it. All right. Well, again, week 13 kicks off on Thursday. Cowboys and the Seahawks. Any of those teams you want in your lineup, make sure that they're in place by that point.
And I don't know if it's just me, but you are frozen, and I hope it's not just me, because that was good. You had a nice little smile on your face. So there you go. Finally caught you with a smile. What are the odds of that?
There you go. Well, apparently my camera is frozen, so we'll leave it as the faceless ending to the show.
Yes, that could have been a lot worse if your profile picture was not set up like that.
I plan ahead. What can I say?
That's it. Last week, right? So I guess just roll off a few teams before we end this. Who are a few teams on the bubble here that are not currently in the playoffs but have a chance at being in the playoffs?
So we have Team Blue Man, Mad Max, Casanova, 28 Falcons 3, Juan for the money, Bladder Kickers, Judon Jones in for Juju. That could be an interesting leapfrog into the standings.
How far is she out?
She is, I'll tell you now, she is down pretty far down there. 716. She needs 744 is the last spot.
Okay. It's good. Definitely got a chance.
Definitely has a chance.
That's one win-loss card away. That's reversed on the other side. So,
Yep.
who's the last person hanging on?
That would be Indy Stouts.
Okay.
Indy Stouts and to a much, to a little, to a late.
Okay. All right. We know they'll update their lineup. So good stuff, man. We'll be back at it next week. Appreciate everybody. And I guess I appreciate you too.
Yeah, I suppose. Enjoy
All
the
right,
games.
man. All right. We'll see.